All right, hi friends. It looks like we're live, but it always takes a minute for all the things to catch up. So I am just going to check everything out. I see we're live on my phone. Just waiting for my laptop to catch up. And there we are. We're live on both devices, pardon me. And we are ready to go. So welcome back to Pinkfresh Studio Lives. We took the last week of December off, but we're going to start out strong. We have 3 different live streams for you this week. So, hi, friends. Thanks so much for joining us. Uh, Looks like we have quite a few people already here. Looking forward to seeing more of you as you all pop in. Heather should be here shortly, moderating in the comments, I believe. So we'll wait for her to join us. Happy New Year. It's been a while since you've seen me. I will preface this by saying I still have the little mullet protector in my mouth from the oral surgery that I had a couple of weeks ago. So closed captioning may be a little off here and there because there are some words that are still a little hard for me to say. I don't have to wear it for too much longer, I don't think. But if closed captioning has some questionable translating, I do apologize. Can't help it. So today, before we get going, let's chat about all of the things that we have going on and all the things that we do before we go live. Yeah, there's Heather. I see she's joined us. So first and foremost, welcome. If you're new here, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. I may not see as many comments once I flip the camera around and start creating, but Heather is here in the comments, commenting under Pinkfresh Studio. And we love to welcome you if we happen to see it. So if not, this is just a blanket welcome to everyone joining us today. We're so glad you're here. And if you're new, we're glad you found us, and we hope you enjoy what you see and you'll keep coming back. So we give away we give away a $15 gift card code. I am rusty at all of this, my goodness. We give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. Heather will pick that just randomly. And all you have to do is what you're already doing. So just keep chatting with us in the live chat. You can ask questions. We'll answer them if we see them. We probably don't catch everything, but we do our very best. Chat with your fellow viewers. Basically, every comment you leave is an entry into the giveaway. Also, underneath this video, another way to win is there's a little tab, has an arrow, and it says share next to it. Click on that tab and just share somewhere. Your personal Facebook feed, it could be an Instagram story. You could share it if you have maybe like an email or a direct message with crafty friends. And then finally, if there is a crafting group on Facebook that you frequent and it is allowed, feel free to share there. There are some that have rules against that, so make sure you know the rules of your group. Come back here, let us know you shared, and that's an extra entry into the giveaway. Finally, not any entries into giveaway, but something that's really helpful is if you could give the video a thumbs up. It helps the reach both now and while we are on replay. Pardon me. Thumbs up, super helpful. Hopefully, maybe we can find some new viewers this year with all of the thumbs up that you give. Okay, I think I've gone over all of the logistics for today. As I mentioned, we have a week full of lives for you this week. So we have card making live today. We have a scrapbooking live at the same time on Thursday. I think this week is Natalie. I think my last live, I totally had the wrong person. But I'm pretty certain the live scrapbooking live this week is Natalie. And then Saturday is our first episode of Craft Hour for the year. So that show is hosted by Jeff Lindbergh. It's already scheduled, so the guest is not a secret. We are so happy that Mindy Egan will be joining us for Craft Hour. I believe it's her first time as a guest. So that will be Saturday at 12 noon Central Time. So all of the time is always the same, 12 noon, just the days differ. So we are excited. We are just starting 2024 with all the live options. So we hope you'll join us. those lives are already scheduled, so you can actually go click on them. The little notification bell on each one if you want to get notified from YouTube when we're going live. So feel free to do that. You can find those under the live tab on our channel. Okay, I think I've gone over everything. We do have a bit of creating to do, so we should probably get going. So I am going to go ahead and get my camera flipped around, and let's get this show on the road. Maybe. It was taking a second to switch there, so I was worried it wasn't going to switch for me. So, if you read the description at all, or the little blurb that we write about lives in our emails, I mentioned I'm actually kind of grabbing a little bit older product, and I'm going to use them with our newer shades of ink. So, I was not feeling press plates today. I wanted to do some stamping and ink blending. So we are going to use this fantastic Citrus Bloom stamp stencil and die set today. I'm really excited to use these in the new ink colors. I have wanted to use this set in the new ink colors, and just haven't had a moment to lately. So I am really excited to do it live. Now, this is a 7-piece stencil set. It's a lot of ink blending to get done. So I have pre-done a little bit of the card making. So I am going to feature some foiling on the card, but I actually went ahead and did it camera just because I knew that the stamping and stenciling was going to take a little bit of time. So we'll go over those more later when we are trying to or going to put our card together, but we're going to start with stamping and stenciling. I apologize. I'm not only healing from surgery, but I'm getting over a pretty terrible cold virus. So if I'm a little sniffly from time to time, I do apologize. All right, let me go ahead and grab my stamping platform and we'll get going. Okay. Happy to hear that, Kristen. I'm really excited to use this set too. I haven't used it in a while. It's one of my favorites. So I think it's going to be fun. So I like to cut my panel just a little bit bigger than the stamp image. You absolutely can fit this on an A2 sized panel, but it fits pretty close edge to edge. So I like to just make my panel a little bit larger so I have a little bit of space to put the magnets down. Kind of up to you, more of a personal preference than anything. Holy, I think that most of us, well, I know that because I was recovering from both surgery and a really bad cold, I have not spent hardly any time on any type of social media the past couple of weeks. So I can feel you on that. All right, so let me get that a little bit more centered. Well, thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. Let's see here. So I want to have just a nice, really light outline, but I wanted it to be a little bit warmer. So rather than choosing a light gray, I am actually choosing our lightest brown, warm buff. We like to call this faux gold, but it's not really gold, but it kind of takes on that appearance. It's just like this really nice shade of light brown. So I am going to stamp the Citrus Bloom image in warm buff. Now I am going to make sure I get a fairly good impression because I am not sure if I'm going to want to restamp this or not. I'm going to kind of make a judgment call after we do the ink blending. I may stamp it if I feel like I've lost that line a little bit, but I want it to stay pretty light. So I noticed I didn't get great coverage right here. So I am just going to go ahead, add a little bit of ink just in that spot, and just go ahead and restamp already. And it already looks so much better. So since I'm not sure if I am going to restamp, I'm going to go ahead and just wipe the stamp down. I'm going to leave it in its place in case I do want to restamp, but I'm giving myself some options. So I'm going to leave this in here in case I want to bring the image back and restamp it once we've ink blended. And this is actually the only shade from the original set of inks that I am going to use. I'm going to focus on our newer shades now. Thought we've done that. So I don't know if there, you can kind of see a little bit better how nice that shade of brown is. I think when it's straight on this, it just kind of looks gray. So, but in real life, it is a really nice shade of brown. All right, I'm gonna grab my grip mat real quick. So give me just 1 second. Sorry if that was a little loud. I never know what Zoom does and does not mute, but I am digging grip mats lately. It's nice to not use so much tape. And they hold they hold things so well. Oh, yay. Excited to hear a lot of you guys' press plates are arriving and you're ready to start using them. I know I'm not using them today, but if you want to look on our live tab, we have a ton of past lives using the Better Press product. So there is a ton of inspiration out there. There's also, you can check our blog, our Instagram feed, and our Facebook page. We have posted a ton of Better Press projects. So there's definitely a lot of inspiration out there for you. I wasn't feeling Better Press today, so I made an executive decision to do some stamping and ink blending. All right, let me grab my ink stand here. I actually think I might need 2 for a couple of the stencils, so I'm going to go ahead and grab 2. And then let's grab the stencils from this set. Now, don't think I use these in order. I kind of create my own order on these ones. So this is a 7-piece stencil set, as I mentioned. So if you're new to our stencils, they are all numbered in the upper left corner. They're etched in. And then you'll notice there's these little tick marks in each corner. And there's one of those in every corner. So the tick marks are there if you're using the stencils alone. But since I'm using them with a stamped image today, I will just go ahead and ignore those. And I am going to instead, pardon me, align each stencil to the stamped image. So for reference, if you are crafting along or want to craft along afterwards on replay, my stencil order is a little out of order. So I'm doing stencil 1, stencil 3, and stencil 4 first. So all of the flowers. And then stencil 2 and stencil 5, which are the citrus layers. And then finally, in order is stencil 6 and 7, which is the greenery. So we are going to go ahead and start with stencil number 1. And so, as I mentioned, I am just taking the stencil and aligning it to or aligning the openings to the stamped image. There's a lot of things to align in here, so I'm just taking a little bit of time to make sure I get it lined up as best as I possibly can here. Now, I don't have a whole lot of extra on each side that the stencil is sticking to, so I am going to do a little bit of reinforcement here, and I am going to put a little bit of tape just to make sure that these stencils don't slide on me when I start ink blending. So for stencil number 1, which is this main layer of the blooms, we are going to do in Cherry Blossom, which is the lightest shade in our Rose Garden family. Looks like I have a question. Do I have the Tailored Expressions Teal Misty 2? I sure do. I actually have them in both sizes. I have them in the standard Misty and the mini. So I never say no to a Misty stamping platform. So Yes, I have them in about every, well, I don't have every shade. I know that there's a few out there that I don't own, but I have them in the standard colors. I have them in the rose quartz. That was the exclusive for our friends at Stuffwith.com. And then I have them in the teal, that tailored expression offers. I'm kind of a misty hoarder, I guess. All right, so just gonna get these blooms blended in with cherry blossom here. Kind of in my normal fashion, I'm blending a little deeper in some areas and then fading it out as we go. Just kind of standard Leah ink blending for you. Nothing too special. Something that I haven't shown before. Yeah, the teal one is really pretty. I'm not sure if Jane, if you're asking about if this is a grip mat. This just happens to be the one that comes um in the stamp oil from Altenew. You can also purchase them separately, I believe I saw. There's lots of grip mats out there. It's just the one that I happen to have. And it's just really nice um for holding stencils in place, um, ink blending things. I found I actually really enjoy having grip mats. That's all that is. Hold the stencil down. Kind of is a little popped up there. Okay. Getting close to finishing up stencil number one here. All right. I think that looks pretty good. Let's just do a little bit of cleanup here. This is a little unnecessary, but just trying to keep myself from dipping a hand or something in ink and then making a mess. So there is the start of our image. I'm loving how it looks with that warm buff ink. Really helps warm tones up a bit. All right. So we are moving on here to stencil 3. So we're jumping up to stencil number 3. I like to do flowers. I like to do all flower layers at the same time, like in order. So just the way that my brain works a little bit better for me. So I am basically lining up these bigger areas, and then that makes these smaller areas kind of fall right into place. If you're using the stencil set, that is my suggestion. Pardon me, that's a hard word to say. Yes. The palette protector in my mouth here. So we are going to switch. We're going to go one shade up in Rose Garden to Peony. Oh, thanks, guys. Let me go. I already went ahead and I actually cleaned all of my brushes that needed it just in case they had a different color. But for reference, if you had maybe a darker color in your brush, all I do is spritz a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on a dry, lint-free cloth and just buff it out. I've already done that, so I don't need to do it again. Just for reference and a little tip, if you want to use multiple colors on one brush, that's a great way to easily clean them so that you don't accidentally get the other color, like if you were using, say, a darker color, into your lighter colors. So something that Heather and I both do is we have one brush that we kind of reserve specifically for the lightest shade in each color family. And then we use another brush for the other 3 colors in the family. So you don't have to do that. That is just because we do so much ink blending. That tends to be our preference. So, but it is nice that you don't have to clean your brushes as often that way, or really much ever, especially if you use them. I just showed for blotting it out with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So just a couple of tips there for the way that we use our blending brushes. I actually never had that problem with my grip mat. So my grip mat, Jane, is actually just like a clear stamp set. It's just made solid. So there's nothing really to tear on it. So I'm kind of wondering if yours might have a little bit of it, like more like an adhesive ski mat versus a grip mat. Something just to think of, because I know that um I don't I'm not particularly fond of the things that are just like the sticky mats, which use somewhat of like an adhesive on them, but I have really fallen in love with the boots, which don't actually use any type of adhesive to hold stuff down. So just something to look at. Okay, I think we are done with this layer. This is technically stencil number 3. Do a quick wipe down and let's check out the reveal. And our flowers are coming along. They're turning out really fun. I love this color palette so much. All right, on to stencil 4, which is the next layers of detail. So there's a little bit less to line up on these ones. So it's more just finding the best place they fit. Something I will mention actually is you'll notice you can actually find kind of at the base of the flowers an area where they meet up. And I actually also found a place where you haven't printed yet. So here is another great area to help line up the stencil. So you do actually have a couple of areas to make it a little bit easier to line up this detail layer. Goodness. One more shade of Rose Garden. I'm going to use Begonia. It's just the next shade up. So basically, I am not using the darkest shade in this collection, which is Mulberry Blush. We're going to stop at Begonia here. I don't need to really clean my brush off much because we're moving up a shade. So that will not hurt Begonia ink pad at all. Well, that's exciting, Melanie. Have fun shopping with your gift card. Okay. My little Cocker Spaniel is dancing around. I think she's finally going to settle down into her bed. So you heard tappy feet in my background at all. It's just my little book. All right. These are just pretty small detail layers, so I'm really not too worried about gradation or anything. It's mostly just about getting color in them so that they'll show. All right, I feel like that's pretty good. Just do a general cleanup of that brush. Clean this off a little. And the flowers are complete. And look at how fun those turned out. I just think that they're so pretty. And I'm loving them with that warm buff outline. It's nice to have it there, but it's nice that it's pretty subtle versus being like a crisp black or such. It's out of order now. All right. So let's move on to stencil number 2. So we're tracking back to stencil 2. This is the first layer of citrus elements. So we've got lemons and oranges. That lemon got a little off. Let's redo that lineup here. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so we're using our new oranges and our new kind of citron colored pieces. I'm going to grab quick brushes here. So obviously for the lemons, we're going to use limoncello. And for the oranges, today I'm going to use Sunkissed. I'm going to start with the lemons. So let's go ahead. I love that these will have a little bit more of like that citron tone to them versus super lemon yellow. It's going to be a nice change from always using the more lemony or traditional yellows for the lemons. I guess they could almost be considered limes too, this way if you wanted. Great. So one thing that you may not know about this set, if you don't have it, is we have put a little O and a little L next to what they are, just to help with differentiation. I mean, I know that the um or we did it on these top two, so you would know which one is which. You know, we might have done it on all of them actually. Yeah, never mind. We did it on all of them. I mean, yes, the shape tells you what it is, but just in case, it's always helpful to have that information. Oh, thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're liking the colors. I think it's super fun. Like I mentioned, I've wanted to use this color palette with this set ever since we released our inks, but I just haven't had a moment to. So I'm really happy to be using it today. Okay, so there is that. I feel like that's a good amount of coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this clean so we don't get limoncello ink everywhere. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna switch on over to Sunkissed for the edges. A little bit less of a classic orange with these ones, but I think they are going to make for some really lovely oranges. I guess they could even be tangerines, sumo mandarins, which are my very favorite. You can only get them right now is when they're starting to come out at stores. And I think that this color palette lends itself to that a lot. All right, you'll notice I'm doing a little bit darker gradation at like the base and then fading that blending out just to give almost some orange in my lemon there. Just to give this a little bit more depth and dimension. All right, so like that layer is done. So let's go ahead and remove it. And we've got the start of our citrus. And look at how fun that is. Absolutely love it. Moving on to stencil number 5. And that is the just a little detail layers for each of the citrus pieces. So these ones, doesn't really matter where you put them. You just want to make sure that they're within the confines of each element. If they accidentally ink blend outside of the element, then it is likely that you will cut them off. So pretty much the main important aspect is just to make sure you line that up within each citrus piece. And for these ones, we're just going up one shade in each color family, citron for the lemons and mimosa for the oranges. Guys, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, we love to grab some of our older sets from time to time and use them in our lives so that you have extra inspiration using them. And we've been doing so much press plate stuff lately. It just felt right to grab for something a little bit older, do some stamping and ink blending and all of that fun stuff to start out the year. Almost missed this guy. All right, nothing too, uh, not much gradation in that one. It was mostly just trying to get a little bit of ink in there to give it kind of that little bit of detail. It's almost like a little highlight in a way. So let's go ahead and move on to Mimosa. Hey there, no worries on joining late. Of course, you want to watch what you've missed. This will be available on replay right after I end the live stream. But we are happy that you were able to join us, no matter what the time. Okay, those ones, there's only a few of the oranges, so that one came together really quickly. Right. And there we have our details. Look at how fun this turned out. They are subtle, but they add just a nice little touch to the citrus pieces. All right, we just have the greenery left. There's 2 stencils for the greenery. So starting with stencil 6, I think we're now technically caught up and in order for the stencils. Go ahead and put these away. And we'll get them nice and lined up. Just using that stamped image to get these ones lined up. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory on this one. The best areas to line up because you're just lining up with that stamped image. And I think I'm trying to remember. Yes, we want this to be, I believe we want this to be the lighter later. So that we are going to use eucalyptus. Let me answer a question here. Oh, Joan, I have not moved. I am still currently in Minneapolis. We had the home we were building unfortunately fell through. So we terminated the contract on that home this past summer and ended up buying a piece of land in Montana, a lot of land, not a piece of land, just a lot. And we hope to start building not this year, but next year. So those are now the plans. So I'm going to be in Minneapolis for a bit longer. Oh, love to hear that. Where did that come and go? Chrissy, I'm glad that you're learning a lot. Welcome to card making. It is a really fun, it's a really fun hobby. We're glad you found us, and I'm glad that we're helping you learn. And I hope that you enjoy what you see and you'll keep coming back each week for more. And hopefully, maybe we'll enable you a little bit to grab some Pinkfresh Studio goodies. There are so many stencils for this set, but it really made sense because there were, so many new layers and we wanted to add those details. It's probably one of the biggest stencil sets I think that we have in our different products, but it really, really helped bring these to life and really give them, really helped make these very fun elements. Oh, thank you, Jane. That's really kind of you. Right. I'm pretty certain maybe, I think this might have been a set from the very first event, Create and Connect event. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was first or maybe second, but I'm feeling first. But it's such a good one. I just love this set so much. Yes, Crystal, Montana will be closer to Washington. Heather and I are excited about that, being a little bit closer to one another so we can hopefully hang out a little bit more frequently. We are definitely excited about that. Okay, I feel like we're good on this layer. We're going to need that brush again. Go ahead and wipe this down and let's check it out. Ooh, look at how fun that is turning out. We have just one layer left here. One more layer of greenery. That's also an easy one to line up because you're still filling up some areas from the stamped image that haven't been ink blended yet. So still a pretty easy one to line up. All right. There we go. Well, hi, Cheryl. So glad you're joining us today. All right. Final green we're going to use is Lush Forest, which is the darkest in that uh, Green Gables color family. Eucalyptus is the second color, so we're jumping up um, two colors to grab for the next layer of greenery. Lush Forest is a very deep tone, so you'll notice I am blotting off a lot. I would rather put too little than put too much because I can always add more, but I cannot take away. I always like to blot a little bit on this guy. These make really cool two-toned leaves that are, some of them are kind of split in half. It's a really, really cool and interesting design, the way that the stencils on this one got designed. It's a really fun one. I don't feel like I've seen much out there the way that we did the greenery on this set. Well, I am going to answer Sandra, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Question, is there going to be a January craft along? Yes. So we've actually already done registration and the bundle sale for the January craft along. It will take place on January 19th. So Friday, January 19th. Now, so it's too late to purchase the bundle. We did registration and we will continue to do registration early just so that our warehouse has more time to get the bundles shipped out. I'm going to let you in on a little secret that even though you won't be able to get the bundle, we are going to open just registration just a couple days before the event happens. So the event happens on January 19th. So look out for an email probably around the 16th or 17th. And we will reopen just registration. So if you still want to join us in January, and maybe it's possible you have the product bundle already, or the products that were in the bundle, or you can just substitute out some products you already own. We will reopen just registration once we're a little closer to the date. Okay, I feel like that is good. As I mentioned, Lush Forest is a deep, deep green. So we've got a little bit of a mess here, and I'm just going to buff that clean. I will clean my stencils a little bit more extensively off camera with isopropyl alcohol, but I'm just going to do that initial cleanup to make it a little bit easier. So is everybody ready for the final reveal after 7 stencils? Lots of stencils, but I think well worth it because look at how amazing this turned out. I think that this is just so fun. I am not going to re-stamp it. So I kept the stamp in my Misty just to give myself the option. But I love how soft the outline is and really makes the inks stand out and just gives you but just gives you enough of the outline to really see the details. So just something that I want to share you if you guys are ever interested in trying out a grip mat. Something that I do is rather than peeling the paper off of the grip mat, I actually try to peel the grip mat away from the paper so that it doesn't curve or bow my cardstock at all. So just a little tip, especially if your grip mat is really sticky, like if it's brand new, fresh out of the packaging, that's a great way to make sure you don't bend or, round out your paper in any way. All right, I'm gonna just do a little desk transition here, friends. Get some things out of my way that I don't need any longer. Like, just set those aside and clean them afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and grab the dies for this and get them cut out. It's a nice one-piece die, so it makes it really easy to run through. We just have to tape it down and run it through your die cut machine once. You don't have to tape down, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate dies. You can just tape down the one. I always take a little bit of extra time to make sure I've got it taped down nice and securely and that I've lined it up really well. Once you do that, you've got all of these pieces cut out at one time. It's so nice. Love the one-piece dies that we started. Oh man, we started coming out with these a few years ago, I think. So this is a bigger die, so I'm gonna keep it in a few different places because I don't want it to shift on me when it runs through my machine. I think we can probably call that good. Just want to make sure it looks like it's nice and lined up. We're lined up good enough. And I'm going to run this through my machine and I'll be right back with it. The best part about the one-piece die is that all of your pieces are cut out once. And I think, unfortunately, even I did all that taping, and I think my die did shift a little bit still in there. Kind of a bummer, but you know what? It's fine. It's not too bad. Or maybe it's possible I did not line it up very well because that die lined up perfectly with these. So that's okay. They're a little off, which bugs me a little bit, but you know what? What can you do? We cannot do that again live. We would not have enough time, so we're just going to go with it. Okay, so there is that. We've got all of our pieces. Let's grab. Okay, let's actually grab these pieces. So these I pre-foiled because I knew that 7 stencils was going to take me a bit of time. So I went ahead and pre-foiled the nested hexagons. I foiled, I think, the 2 largest. Yep, the 2 largest to 1 panel of cardstock. I cut just the inner part out with the coordinating die. And then I cut the outer part out with the largest stitched rectangle. So there's that. So just wanted to mention those are nested hexagon products. I pre-did it. This is matte gold foiling. So, but I pre-did it because I knew I wouldn't have enough time for all of this. So let's actually grab a piece of tape here. Stick this card base down so it will be a little bit easier to attach things. So we are going to go ahead and attach the outer part directly to the image with some liquid glue. You could also use tape runner, whatever you prefer here. Liquid glue gives me a little bit of wiggle room to make sure I had it, or make sure I have it adhered nice and straight versus being a little crooked. All right, here we go. And let's just adhere this directly to the center of the card. I love that liquid glue. Lets me take a minute to get this nice and lined up here, so it's not too wonky. And then, oh yeah, no, it happens. It's also possible I just didn't do a very good job of lining it up. I'm not looking at it like directly overhead when I'm doing things live, so it's possible I just punched it. It happens. I'm not too worried about. Not too worried about it. They look fine. All right. And then for that middle hexagon, I'm gonna go ahead and just add some foam tape to it. There's some 3M foam tape that I get on Amazon. I think it also sometimes can go by the brand name of Scotch if you're looking for it. And then we're going to pop this up in here. Oh, that sounds like fun, Lee. Exciting news. All right. Get that lined up. And so then you have just a little bit of pop up there for going ahead and decorating around um, these foiled hexagons here. So then we're going to take our pieces. I'm going to do a little bit of fluffing with these and a little bit of arranging here just to get them up. Now, some of the hexagon will be covered for sure, but that's okay. This is more about dress, but I just wanted to have some, this, I think, no, maybe this guy. Let's see here. Chrissy, I get that. I'm kind of the same way. We're going to go all in as well. All right, so we're going to do a little grouping like this. This is where you guys going to get to kind of just see me fiddle a little bit. I want to use all of these fun pieces to create my clusters. Let's see. Maybe kind of like that. Just want lemon to poke out a little bit. Maybe move this up a tiny bit. Okay, there's that. Let's see. I want to make sure that we have citrus in both areas. Let's see. I like that guy right there. This one, oh, maybe. Does this one work? Oh, kind of tucked under. That's kind of fun, right? So you get a little bit of that citrus. You pop out. Okay, Joan is asking a little bit more about the new ink colors. We do have some videos that showcase the colors quite well, Joan, so definitely make sure you check those out. But basically, we have 24 new colors, 6 new color families, and by new, I mean relatively. I think it's about, we released them, I think, in September. Don't quote me on that. So, it's still relatively new, of course. We have 6 new color families. We kind of just filled in the Pinkfresh Studio rainbow. We already had a really fantastic rainbow, and we just filled in some areas where we felt like we were missing a couple of things. The name of this set, I don't know if it's Alicia, possibly Alicia. This one is called Citrus Bloom. That's the one that I'm using currently. But I feel like I like this here, this selection here. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these down. I'm just going to add glue to the middles because I don't want to glue everything down secure, like completely. I want there to be some movement and some added dimension from where I fluffed them up. So, oops, there we go. Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it. So, Joan, hopefully that is a quick answer to your question about the inks. Like I said, we have other video resources that can give you more information, more in-depth information on new ink colors. I'm going to pop these top ones up. Little thumb dots real quick. So let me grab that here. Oh, thanks for that reminder. If everything that I am using today, I did link in the video description. So if you just, easy access for if you need, pulling things from your own stash, or if you're wanting to grab them from our shop, that's a good place to start. Go ahead and add a little bit. We're going to start with the one I've tucked underneath. I'm going to get glue everywhere. Oh, I just think that ends up so fun. I love the little tuck underneath the frame there. I'm glad it had left me enough room to do that. And I will have successfully used every single piece. That does not always happen. And I am just thrilled with how it turned out. Oh, these nested foiling plates and the coordinating dies are the best, Teresa. I use them um, all the time. I think they're like one of the best essentials in our week dinner shop, I think. All right. And get that in here, snuggle it in. And what do you guys think? There is our little bunches of citrus blooms there. All right. Let's see here. Let's we stamp a sentiment. So citrus bloom does not have any sentiment. So let's grab a sentiment from a fairly new sentiment release. This is Beyond Happy. It released just a few months ago. It was in an event kit as well. But it's such a good one. And so I haven't really decided which set. I figured once I had arranged everything, I would pick then which sentiment I wanted to use because I would know what fit best. So really, the Celebrating You fits really nice. Just a Note fits really nice, as well as the Hey Friend. That one fits relatively nice as well, but it's not really a sentiment I want to focus on. I don't like that one, nor that one. I think those ones are just a little too long. All right, so I'm going to probably choose between Celebrating You or Just a Note. I like the Celebrating You. It's kind of adds a little bit more in it. Although I really like Just a Note. This is a hard choice here, friends. I think because I think I haven't used it, I think I'm going to go with Just a Note. I believe I have used the Celebrating You stamp. So that's like the only reason, okay, I'm choosing it. So let me grab, I think I have a small little scrap here that will work for this. I just got to grab my mini Misty real quick. So as mentioned, this is actually the teal mini Misty we were talking about earlier. So I think that this is plenty of room. I think I can actually probably even still get a little bit of a magnet on there, so this will stay in place. Okay. Right, let's grab that. And I think, you know what? I think I'm actually going to stamp it in begonia. However, I don't know if I have used this set yet, and it's got that little bit of solid piece on it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab just a pink eraser, and I am going to just condition this stamp real quick. This, I think, just makes it take that ink a little bit better, especially since there is that solid part for the word note. So, because I want to use a color versus a hybrid ink, and its colors, of course, are dye ink, I think that will make it accept that color a little bit better. Right, so make sure that's dry. I want it to repel. There we go. I've been using colored sentiments a lot more often lately, and I think they turn out really, really fun. I just thought it would be a good option. Oh, and I love how that turned out. I think it's going to be a lovely addition to the card. Now, let's actually take this just a little step further. And let's grab some clear embossing ink. Yeah. I had to grab some clear embossing powder because I am kind of doing step I wasn't intending to, but I think it will make this look really pretty. So we're going to go over this with some embossing powder. So let's do that so it doesn't get any, or the embossing powder only sticks where I want it. We're going to stamp again in just clear embossing ink. Hopefully that lights up well. I think we're good. I do it one more time for good measure. Oop, I moved that guy. Let's not do that. I think this still lines up. Hopefully. Oop. All right. We are going to cover this in clear embossing powder. Good. And heat set it. And then our sentiment will be all glossy and pretty. Turns out so fun. Now let me get this out of the way here. And we'll heat set. Zoom is going to mute me for a second while I do this. I'll be right back once it's heat set. And that turned out so fun. It's just a nice little step. It's a nice little extra step. It kind of gives a nice finishing touch to the sentiment. Kind of nice and shiny. And I think there's a little spot that didn't heat set. So let me just hit that real quick. There we go. I definitely had missed a little spot. I'm glad I noticed it. All right, let's grab it and the coordinating die real quick for this set. Now these ones are of course separate. I think it's this one. No, it's not. Always the one that's harder to figure out when they're not one piece is figuring out which die goes with which. All right, just gonna line this up real quick. Definitely shifted on me. Okay, there's that guy. Keep him down on both sides. I'm just gonna run it through my little small machine here. And look at how fun that is. I just love the little bit of shine that the clear embossing adds to it. It's super nice. Move this away here. And I think this will just fit really nicely into this little section right here. Just gonna find my thin foam strips. And then this card will be complete. Probably add jewels after the live is over today, friends. So just be on the lookout for the photos. Here's what I did, where I ended up adding jewels just because we're running out of time today. And I'm not completely sure, honestly, what I want to do with those jewels today. So be on the lookout for those once I post the photos. Right. Right, let's tuck that in here. Right. There we go. I'm going to do this off camera, but I believe I'm going to use the Peach Fuzz and Ballet Slipper Duels to finish this off. So as I mentioned, definitely be sure to check out or look for those ones to post them. And that is my card for today, friends. Hope you enjoyed watching it come together. All right, I am going to just switch back to me. Give me 1 second while I transition to my other camera. All right, there we are. Ooh, I'm out of focus there for a second. Pardon me. I know it is starting to run a little bit. So thanks so much for joining me today, friends. Feeling a little rusty, but I think it turned out pretty nice. So thanks so much for joining me today. Heather is about to pick a winner of the $15 gift card code. So there we go. We have it. Congratulations to Melissa Frisbee. Hopefully I said that correctly. I'm sorry if I butchered it. But you are today's winner of a $15 gift card code. To claim your prize, send me an email. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name. So it is just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. And just give me about 2 to 3 business days to get back to you with your gift code. So congratulations. All right. So card making live today. We're almost done. Scrapbooking live, same time, same place on Thursday with Natalie. And then Craft Hour, our first episode of Craft Hour is Saturday, 12 p.m. So same time, 12 p.m. Central Time, right here on our YouTube channel. Join our wonderful host, Jeff Lindbergh, and this month's guest, Mindy Egan. So we're really, really excited that she'll be joining us. So Mindy is a teacher or an instructor in our upcoming Create and Connect event in February. So bit of a preview of what's to come from Mindy. Have a great rest of your week. And hopefully you guys will join us on Thursday for our scrapbooking live. Other than that, have a great Tuesday. Bye, guys.